Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And in this video, I have another Thanksgiving or thank you gift made with the Gather Together bundle from the Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog. Now this is a really pretty oven mitt that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I loved the colors and I love the sentiments on it, and I thought it would be perfect to just add a tag, and then you could put a cellophane bag of baked goods or maybe some microwave popcorn packets just to make a sweet little gift. So let me show you how we're going to put this tag together. First of all, here is the mitt, and I'm just going to cut off the tag so that we'll have a clean slate to start with. Now it has the loop up here, so that's what I worked from, and I decided first what ribbon I would use at the top. So I looked through my ribbon and I decided to use this double-sided reversible ribbon that's in Old Olive and Pretty Peacock, which there's Old Olive on the mitt, and I thought it would go really well with it. So I'm going to make a loopy bow, and along with that, I'm using the linen, braided linen trim. Now, these are both in the annual catalog. And so I'm just leaving it on the spool, and I'm making 2 loops like this. Okay, and I did that, and I thought I need a little bit more bulk. So I decided to put the linen trim with it while I was making the loopy bow, and just have it, going together and have that texture in there along with that natural feel. Okay, so I've got 2 loops here, and I'm going to cut this end off right here, leaving plenty of room there. I want a little bit of a tail. Then I'm going to take another length of the braided linen trim, and I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to be pretty generous with it. And that's what I'm going to use to tie around the center of this loopy bow to hold it together. And I'm going to put a knot. Now these ends here will be what we attach our tag to the mitt with as well. So I leave those long like that. Okay, and then I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to work on the tag. So I have a piece of Old Olive that I'm going to use. If I can find what I did with it. Here it is. It's cut at 2 by 5 1/4. I just like to be sure I leave it long enough because when you punch the top, and this is the Delightful Tag Topper punch, it takes a little bit of the length off, and I wanted plenty to work with. Okay, so there is our tag. And then I am going to get a piece of scrap paper and go ahead and stamp on the tag. And I'm using this leaf from the Gather Together set. And I'm also going to be using some of the die cuts that come with the bundle. And I'm using Old Olive on Old Olive. And I'm just going to scatter stamp this big leaf on here. And I'm, in essence, making my own designer paper. Oops. And I like to stamp off of the edge of the cardstock too, just to provide some interest. And I'm going to try to cover up most of the tag. Okay. Then I'm going to take a sponge dauber and then just go around the edges of the tag to finish it off. Now I will say, while I'm doing this, I have my hot glue gun heating up over here on the side because I'm going to be using that for one of the embellishments on this tag. Okay. All right, let's set that aside there, and I'll leave that open just in case I need it again. And I'm going to take, I have a strip of the Come Together Designer Series paper, and what I did is I had a 2-inch strip of this particular print, and I put it on my Simply Scored, and then I scored it at every 1/4 inch with my scoring tool, just going down. So I had 2 inches here, and I went all the way down. Now, just a tip here, if you're going to be making several of these, or going to be using these for the little pleated medallions. You could do a long, you know, a full sheet of a 12 by 12 or a half sheet, and then cut it apart as you need it. It is a little bit easier to score a larger sheet of paper, but for me, I just had a little bit of this designer paper left, so I had a 2-inch strip that I worked with. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just accordion fold it, fan fold it front and back all the way. I haven't made these in a while, but they make a really pretty embellishment, and I like to use them on banners, and they make beautiful ornaments too if you make them larger. So, you know, you can make it up to 2 inches, 2.5 inches, and make a pretty nice size medallion. But once you get the scoring done on this, I mean, they're easy to put together. You can see I'm just folding it back and forth. And I kind of press and give it a good tug and press to give those pleats definition. And I'll be finished here in just a minute. And I'm going to use a piece of tear-in tape to hold the two ends together. You can use hot glue. You could use liquid glue. It's just the drying time is a little more. And the hot glue, when I'm working with such a small area, I'm afraid I'm going to burn myself, so I try to use something else. Excuse me. Okay, so I just tore that off. And if you have a little extra that's going off the edge there, just fold it over on itself like that, okay? So I'm going to take these two ends and match them up, just like that. And then I'm going to pull in my silicone sheet because this is great when you're working with hot glue. And let me see, get this folded back again and make my little medallion. I'm having a little stubborn area here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so see how cute that is? All right, now the way I like to do this is I like to take my hot glue gun and put a dollop of glue on the silicone mat like that. That's probably way too much. You take a chance of getting burned with that much, but it just was anxious to come out of there. I had it heating up for quite a while. Okay, and I'm going to put it down there in the center and squeeze it together like that. Excuse me. Hold it there just a minute to keep it together. See what a pretty little medallion that makes? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm getting over a little congestion thing, cough. Okay. All right, let me let that sit there for a minute, and we're going to work on another part. Now, I'm going to get a piece of Whisper White scrap, and we're going to do some stamping. So I want a sentiment on here, and I chose Season of Thanks, and I'm using Early Espresso because I think that's one of the colors in the mint. Stamp it there. I'm going to be doing a punch using a 1.5 inch circle punch. So I will go ahead and punch this out, and then we're going to stamp over top of that with some pumpkins. Okay, now let's get these two little pumpkins from the set, and I'm going to ink those up. I have ink all over my hands. And pumpkin pie. And I'm just going to stamp directly over that Season of Thanks. Okay. Then I decided to bring in the Old Olive and take my sponge dauber and go around the edge. Just kind of finishes it off there, okay? So I'm looking at my little medallion here, and it's kind of squeezing apart, which is okay. All right, so I'm going to push it back together, get my glue gun again, in case that's probably enough glue there to stick my little circle sentiment on top, but I'm going to put a little bit more. And since I have the glue gun heated, I go ahead and use that as much as I can with this. Just makes for an easier stick when you're putting this all together. And you see how it just pulled up so easily off of that silicone sheet. Okay, so season of thanks. And let's see what's next. All right, so in a previous video, I told you that I had a little baggie full of the die cut leaves from this bundle. And I just keep them in there with the stamp set, so when I go to creating with it, I have them all ready to go. And they cut and emboss. They are beautiful. And so let me bring in my tag, and we'll start assembling this. Okay, so I'm going to put this here, and that's just going to go a bit off the side of the tag, because I just think it looks good like that. And I'm going to take these two. This is Early Espresso and Mary Merlot, which I also sew those colors here in the mitt. See? Okay. So I'm going to put that over top there. I'm going to get the glue gun again. And I'm going to put a little bit over here on this side. And attach that to the bottom of the tag with a little bit extending off the right edge. Then I'm just going to use some liquid glue and put these here underneath the medallion. And then I'll overlap this Mary Merlot leaf a little bit. Okay. All right, so now we've got to put it all together, and the bow is just going to make it. Look at that. All right, so let me get my mitt and come over here, and then I'm going to take these two ends that we used of the braided linen trim to tie the knot. I'm going to slip it through the top of the tag, through the punched hole there. And then just one of them, and then I'm going to go through the loop of the mitt, come around, and I have my two ends right here, and I'm just going to tie it in a knot. And that tag, that can be cut off or whatever they want to do with it. Then they have a tag that if they want to attach it to a gift, they can do that. Okay? All right, I hope you will give this a try. I love making little thinking of you, thank you gifts like this. If you have any questions, let me know. These, again, they're from the Dollar Tree, and but you can find decorative mitts this time of year just about anywhere. So play with your supplies, make a fun tag to attach to a gift, and share the love this season. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if I can help you with anything, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.